A very good Friday afternoon to all our viewers out there. It's the 5th of November 2021. You're watching Lunchtime News here on TV1 and bringing you the news this afternoon. I'm Mariam Kanavijaya. Before we head on to our stories in detail, let's take a look at your headlines for this afternoon.
An insurance cover for pensioners by deducting funds from their pension. SJB goes to Supreme Court over forced takeover of wetlands. Officials release water from the Parakrama Samudra. Farmers oppose the move.
In your lead story this afternoon, the government has introduced a new Agrahara insurance scheme for the pensioners in the country. The funds for the new project will be obtained by reducing a percentage from the current pension of the pensioners. Deduction of funds from the pension for the relevant insurance scheme commenced from the 1st of this month. Accordingly, 400 rupees will be deducted monthly from pensioners below the age of 70. The premium charge from pensioners over 70 is 600 rupees. Those who do not wish to use insurance scheme and have retired before the 1st of January 2016 can notify the Director of Pensions in writing within 2 weeks from the 29th of October. The circular issued by the Ministry of Public Administration says if no response is received within this period, the amount will be deducted on the presumption that the consent is already given. Letters of disapproval sent after the prescribed 2-week period will also be rejected. The government says the decision to expand the Agrahara insurance benefit scheme, which was already available for the senior citizens, was made with the aim of providing a more secure opportunity to the pensioners. A fundamental rights petition has been filed by the Samagi Janabalavega opposing the forced takeover of wetlands in the Muthurajavala wet zone and the land between Negombo and Paliaguda.
The petition was handed over to the court by parliamentarians of the Samagi Janabalavega, including MP Harin Fernando and Dr. Kavinda Jayawardena.
The main reason that paved the way to file this petition was the land mafia. This will hamper the livelihoods of the residents of these areas. There is a grand conspiracy behind this. With the ongoing development activities happening at the Port City project, the government is planning on giving away these lands in Muthurajavala to several international companies to carry out their projects. Arrangements have been made to give out a land spanning up to 300 acres to a Korean company. An agreement of $500 million in this regard has already been signed with the Korean ambassador. Due to the ignorance shown by the government on this plea, the residents have staged a hunger strike in Khadana today. If the government continues to ignore this, we will gather a large crowd in support of this endeavour. And we are going to do all of this with the blessing of His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal. We are ready to even sacrifice our lives for this cause.
The State Provincial Government Trade Unions Federation says the government workers' salary must be increased by a minimum of 10,000 rupees in the upcoming budget.
අපි රුපියල් 30000ක වැටුප් වැඩිවීමක් ඉල්ලන්නේ ජීවත්.
We could justify a salary increase of 30,000 rupees, but all we are asking for is a salary increase by 10,000 rupees. We are not asking for this salary increment to have a luxurious life. We are asking for this so that we can have enough money to barely survive. We are being easy on the government. Trade unions have already stated the actions we will take if we don't get a salary increment of 10,000 rupees. If in case we don't get our salary increased by 10,000 rupees, we will take to the streets and no one will be able to stop us.
Former Janata Vimukti Peramuna Provincial Councillor Nalin Hevage expressed the following views during a media briefing held in Galle. In more local news, members of the Samagi Janabalavega staged a protest opposing the increasing cost of living and the fertilizer issue in Bingeria today. Heavy rains continue to pour down in various parts of the island. The LPTO town in Galle recorded the highest rainfall during the 24 hours that ended at 8 a.m. today. LPTO recorded a rainfall of 155 millimeters. Now, according to the Met Department, Bulletin recorded a rainfall of 80 millimeters.
The Met Department predicts heavy showers in the western, Sabaragamuwa, Uva, central and northwestern provinces and in some places in the Galle and Madani districts today as well. Meanwhile, the National Building Research Organization said that landslide warnings issued for 7 districts were still in effect due to heavy rains that have been pouring down in the island. A number of low-lying areas in Mathura were inundated due to heavy rains last night. A correspondent said that the water level of the Nilwala River is rising rapidly. Many cultivated lands in the Kokmadua area in Valigama were also inundated. A correspondent said that the Imuduva Bogahagoda lane was inundated, disrupting traffic in the area. Many low-lying areas in Imuduva, Habaradua and Akmimina areas were also inundated.
It is being reported that several houses in Delgahalanta Mirigama have been damaged due to the ongoing construction activities of the Central Expressway.
Residents allege that the vibrations caused by the heavy machinery used at the construction sites has caused cracks in their houses.
The construction activities of the expressway commenced in 2017. These cracks are a result of the vibrations that is being generated in these construction sites. We have informed them already, but there is still no favorable response from them.
අපි දැන් ඉතින් කැඩිච්ච අලුතෙන් හදලා කැඩිච්ච ගෙවල් වල ඉන්නවා මොනවා දෙයක් නින්දද කිව්වොත් ඒක කියලා නිම කරන්න බෑ මම අම්මගේ කන ඉන්නේ මාතේ මේ මෙතන මේ පස්තල නන්ද අම්මගේ කන එදා ඉඳන් ඉන්නේ නැති කන තව ඉන්නේ.
Residents also alleged that their cultivating lands are inundated due to the construction of the expressway.
Authorities make various promises where they come to inspect the situation. They say that they have not yet received any funds to pay compensation. Details of the story regarding the views expressed by JVP Provincial Councillor Nalin Hevage will be given to you later on in our bulletin. But until then, let's take a look at more local news. Deputy Director General of Health Services Dr. Hemanta Herath says the general public and the health sector are responsible to ensure the spread of COVID-19 is controlled following the return to normalcy.
When you
look at it from a statistical standpoint, there has been a slight increase. However, what is important is seeing an increase. During the past, when there was a decrease, the rate of reduction has reduced further. Even though it is too early to decide on this, we cannot take the increase in cases lightly. There is a possibility of the situation to get worsen if health guidelines are not followed. With regret, I am saying we have received photographs of health workers and doctors where they are enjoying and posing for photographs without a mask. The health workers must lead by example by wearing face masks and maintaining social distance. If not, this will impact not only the health workers but everyone. If we do not adhere to health guidelines, we will have to face greater challenges in the future.
පහුගිය කාලාන්තරය තිස්සේම අපි උත්සාහ කරා මහ ජනතාව තුළ අනවශ්‍ය බිය ගැන්වීම.
We took a conscious effort as a government to control this COVID-19 pandemic without causing unnecessary pressure on the public. But the virus spread due to the trade union activities that took place in the recent past. It would be a shame if we have to go into another lockdown in a few months because of the spread.
ඒක ඉතාමත්ම දරුණු ඛේදවාචකයට අතවැණීමක්.
The release of water from the Parakrama Samudra for the Maha cultivating season has been opposed by the farmers in the area.
Accordingly, water will be released for 25,188 acres of paddy lands. According to the irrigation engineer of the Parakrama Samudra, Asela Udayanga, the water is released to prepare the land for 35 days. During the next 90 days, water will be released for cultivation. However, the farmers allege there is no point in obtaining water when fertilizer is not provided. Now the professors and the experts have come to a conclusion where the chemical fertilizer does not have anything harmful, but organic fertilizer contains harmful substance. If that's the case, why can't the government intervene and provide what the farmer is asking for? We know that there are 20,000 tons of urea that was imported to Sri Lanka. They are saying they will give 5,000 tons to Anuradhapura. Certain politicians are saying there is a conspiracy here. It is true, it is a political conspiracy. The National Farmers' Head is in Anuradhapura. He says the organic cultivation can be done. Now Minister Chandrasena says they are the ones who made organic cultivation a reality and did well. However, they are giving 5,000 tons of chemical fertilizer there. What we are asking is to give us 7,000 tons of fertilizer. We need 13,000 tons, but give us only 7,000 tons. We will not engage in any protests and instead start cultivating.
The Parakrama Samudra was created by King Parakrama Bahu, aimed at collecting every drop of water that falls on the earth. However, the water from the Parakrama Samudra is released against a backdrop where even farmers cannot make use of it.
Taking a look back at a story we mentioned before in our bulletin, former JVP Provincial Councillor Nalin Hevage expressed the following views at a media briefing held in Galle today.
Basil Rajapaksa said it is time to take and not give.
ජනතාවගෙන් දැන් ඔයාලා කලිසම ෂර්ට් එක ඔක්කොම ගලවගෙන යට ඇඳුම විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. ඕකත් ගලව ගන්න. ඕකත් ගලව අරගෙන ඔක්කොම පටවගෙන ඇමරිකාවට යන්න. දැන් පුල් සුද්ධ දාලා තියෙන්නේ. සුද්ධෝදන පරපුරක් දැන් රජ කරන්නේ.
A generation of rogues are ruling the country now. They say there are no funds to clear the goods that arrive at the Colombo port. However, the rulers can make racetracks. When the rulers in Colombo are enjoying, a mother in Badulla mixes poison to the plenty because of her inability to survive and takes the life of her entire family, including her.
මේ 13ක් විතර උදා කරපු කාලකන්ණි පාලකවරුත් තමයි අද රට පාලනය කරන්න කියලා අපි ජනතාවට අවධාරණය කරන්න කැමතියි.
Shifting your attention towards some news overseas. Reports show that families in North Korea are going hungry. This is a concern as winter approaches that the most vulnerable will starve. UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in North Korea says vulnerable children and elderly people in North Korea are at a higher risk of starvation.
North Korea has suffered deadly famines in the past, and now its leader, Kim Jong-un, has warned of severe food shortages ahead. The agricultural economy is still recovering from years of famine and mismanagement under Kim's family leadership, and North Korea's military-first ethos, meaning that civilians are prioritized behind the army forces for many resources, including food. Another main indicator of shortages is a rise in the price of basic foods. Prices of many basic food items, including rice and corn, have been on the rise. North Korea has always struggled with food shortages, but the pandemic has made a bad situation worse. Leader Kim Jong-un has compared the current situation to the country's worst disaster in the 1990s, known as the Arduous March, where hundreds of thousands of people died in a famine. According to experts, Pyongyang has invested in new military technology and missiles, but it lacks the modern machinery needed for a speedy and successful harvest.
A recent speaker at the United Nations had a message that has been heard many times. Refusing to drastically cut back on fossil fuels could drive humans to extinction. What made the speech unusual was the bearer of the warning, Frankie the dinosaur.
You okay? You need a minute? Cool. Okay.
Listen up, people. I know a thing or two about extinction. And let me tell you, and you'd kind of think this would be obvious, going extinct is a bad thing. And driving yourselves extinct? In 70 million years, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Around the world, people are living in poverty. Don't you think helping them would make more sense than, I don't know, paying for the demise of your entire species? Let me be real for a second. You've got a huge opportunity right now. As you rebuild your economies and bounce back from this pandemic, this is humanity's big chance. So here's my wild idea. Don't choose extinction. Save your species before it's too late. It's time for you humans to stop making excuses and start making changes. Thank you.
With that, we wrap up this edition of Lunchtime News here on TV1. For details of these stories and much more, you can log on to our website, which is www.newsfirst.lk. Thank you for watching. A very good day to you and take care.